We've been a leader in banking for more than 100 years. You'll find us here, at home, on your phone, and everywhere you go. Renaissance Bank. Understanding you. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Sponsored by Renaissance Bank.
Good morning. Welcome to Daily Journal Newsbreak, sponsored by Renaissance Bank. Today is Friday, September 28th, and I'm your host, Elizabeth Walters. We're going to take a look at today's top news and sports stories across Northeast Mississippi, but first, a look at your weather forecast. Today we'll have cloudy skies with a high of 78 and a low of 61. And taking a look at the next 3 days, on Saturday we'll have a mix of sun and clouds with a high of 81 and a low of 61. Sunday, partly cloudy with a high of 86 and a low of 69. And on Monday, scattered thunderstorms with a high of 82 and a low of 68. And here's a look at some of today's top headlines. The Talbot House Bakery is preparing to move to its new location, and today is the last day customers can pick up pastries at the McDougal building on Southeastern Boulevard. When the bakery moves to Main Street, there will be some growth as the plan is to expand and include a cafe, and a Today's Special will give bakers the ability to experiment in the kitchen. Talbot House Bakery employs tenants of the Talbot House Sober Living program, which is for women transitioning from substance abuse treatment back into society. There are currently 6 Talbot House residents. Head baker Amanda Robertson said the business is moving due to the limited accessibility of Talbot House Bakery's current location, and the business should be ready to open by mid-November. And Secretary of State Delbert Hosemann said that the little more than 13% turnout in the June Republican and Democratic primaries is not acceptable, and his office and others are taking steps to ensure turnout is high for the November 6th general election. Hosemann announced the continuation of the Vote in Honor program, which started in the early 2000s and allows Mississippians to vote in honor of members of the military. Mississippi Today reports that Hosemann has added a new detail to the program that allows people to go to the Secretary of State's website to fill out information on the particular soldier being honored by the vote. Mississippi residents have until October 9th to register to vote. In addition to being open on weekdays, local circuit clerk offices will open next Saturday, October 6th, to allow people to register. The 2 elections drawing the most interest are the U.S. Senate contest, the regularly scheduled election where Representative David Berea is challenging Senator Roger Wicker, and the special election to fill the post vacated by the retirement of Thad Cochran. And what started as a teaching tool for students has turned into a donation for the neonatal intensive care unit at North Mississippi Medical Center. And Tupelo's Early Childhood Education Center started asking their students to bring nickels and dimes to school to teach them to learn to count by 5s and 10s. And that lesson turned cents into dollars. And on Thursday, ECEC presented a check for $1,500 for the NICU. At an assembly with the student body, 2 teachers spoke of personal experiences with their own children at the NICU. Marley May said, "When you experience that, it just changes you, and it's overwhelming to see these babies here at our school." The NICU is designed to accommodate 34 newborns, but has the flexibility to care for 50. The facility also has space for families to eat, sleep, and wait in while their child is being treated. And in sports, the quest for Mississippi State's women's basketball team to return to a 3rd straight national championship game began with its first practice on Thursday. The Bulldogs returned 8 letter winners, but only 1 starter from last year's team in All-American center Tiara McCowan. Vic Schaefer also picked up Texas A&M grad transfer forward Andriel Howard. Schaefer said he has some youth that's going to have to grow up in a hurry, but he likes his 4 seniors. And among the new faces for the Bulldogs is UConn transfer Andrea Espinoza Hunter and Ole Miss transfer Promise Taylor. Neither will be eligible this season, but they do have 3 years of eligibility remaining. And the Bulldogs had a special guest with them on the court as Indiana Fever guard Victoria Vivians practiced with the team before she heads overseas next week to play professionally in Israel. And off-state's practices are open to the public. They'll take the court again today at 2 p.m. and Saturday at 9:30 a.m. And that does it for Newsbreak on this Friday. Don't forget that this show is just one of many online offerings courtesy of the Daily Journal that gets you news off the page and on the go. And be sure to check out the latest episode of the Double Coverage podcast. This week, hosts Parrish Alford and Logan Lowry talked to Florida beat writer Edgar Thompson about Dan Mullen's return to Starkville. You can listen in iTunes, your podcast app, or at doublecoverage.djournal.com. Each story discussed today on Newsbreak can be found in your Daily Journal or online at djournal.com, where you can find a new episode of Newsbreak each weekday morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Elizabeth Walters. Have a great weekend.